Hey everybody, I am back, Sassy Carnivore, Holly Warner, owner, founder of Holly Warner Health. Wanted to come back on here and do another video in my series, Oxalates. So this is great for the carnivore people, but it's also great for anybody else out there who doesn't really understand the role that oxalates play within our health. Something that's not often mentioned, and I do have quite a few of patients like this, is that oxalates play a role in methylation. So if you are one of the 50% of the population that has the MTHFR gene mutation, or someone like me who has MTR or MTRR, or if you've got a slow COMT gene, which is also really popular, and you definitely don't want to be slowing that down anymore. If it's already slow, slow ain't good, you're gonna want to pay attention to this one. So what's the big deal with MTHFR? Well, that's the methylation cycle. It's a methylation gene that helps this whole pathway that has to do with metabolizing folate. So if you have issues, so I'm talking about like your folate as in like your B9, if you've got methylation issues, you are likely one of the people out there that's supplementing with either a hydroxy or an adenosine version. But if you've got oxalate issues, you're also wreaking havoc because you already have a slowed down pathway. Let me explain that one. You see, MTHFR, or the methylation cycle, helps our body to properly utilize a function that has to do with our homocysteine. Now, if you've ever done a session with me, you know that I talk about elevated homocysteine levels being a really bad thing. Like if you've got hot flashes, maybe it's not a hormone issue, maybe it's not actually menopause, maybe it's your homocysteine levels. That's not histamine, that's homocysteine. I said homo. Hey, the homo said homo. What? Gay jokes all over the place. It's okay. Don't send me hate mail. I'm a lesbian. I'm gay. I can make that joke. So, oxalates make methylation issues worse. Did you get that? You might want to grab a pen and paper for this one, or you could head over to my website and read the article that I put up. I did do a blog on this one. It's actually MTHFR and gallbladder and a whole bunch of other things all slammed into one article, which I didn't do in my videos because it would make them too long. So head to my website and check it out. So methylation, if you have methylation issues, oxalates are going to slow them down even more. And this has to do with sulfate. Let me explain. When oxalates are high, your sulfate is low. When the sulfate is low, it affects a whole bunch of other pathways, which happen to do with the phase 2 detox pathway, including the liver. The liver is in the phase 2 pathway, so it's very important. This has to do with, again, as I mentioned, your homocysteine levels, your hormone imbalances, excess estrogen needs a place to go. It has to do with being more sensitive for those of you that have the MTHFR and elevated oxalates and then low sulfate. It means that you're going to be more sensitive to food additives, food colorings, heavy metals, xenoestrogens, hormone imbalances, so hormones naturally produced. It's going to leave you kind of vulnerable to a lot of things like chemicals and pesticides and all of that. So it's definitely something to pay attention to if you are in that whole 50% of the population, as they say that's the number. You're going to want to pay attention to your oxalate load. So any of my patients that I know who either I've genetically tested or they've done a 23andMe or whatever the fuck else you want to do for genetic testing. I prefer mine, but I digress. If you're one of the people that has methylation issues, if you're a carrier, if you've got the MTHFR gene and the other subsequent pathways that are slowed down because of it, you can look at your COMT gene, all of that. I put a list of them in my blog article so you can actually reference it. Then you're gonna notice you need to be on a lower oxalate diet. You will thank me when you do this, I'm telling you right now. So if you're one of those people and you want to work with me and you want to work at lowering your oxalate, you do not have to go carnivore. Yes, I am the sassy carnivore, but no, I'm not going to make you eat only meat. So if that's not for you and you just don't want to do it, but you do want to reduce your oxalate load, come and see me. you're still eligible. We can fix your diet so that you still have some of the foods you love. You just lower your oxalate intake. And when we lower your oxalate intake, we increase your absorption of certain nutrients, your fat-soluble vitamins. We're gonna correct your bowel flow. We're gonna look at all of that. We can do a full-blown session where we can repair your gut, because chances are you've also got leaky gut. We can look at the hormone imbalances. You can pick the package that works best for you. We will work together. We can do lab work, or we can just do the clinical nutrition side of things. It's your way. We do what you want to do. I promise not to push carnivore on you. That's a concern for many people since I swapped over to being a meat eater and not promoting the leafy greens anymore. Don't worry, I got you. I come to you where you're at. So don't worry about that. We can work on transitioning to a lower oxalate load, and I can give you some tips and tricks to help your body to utilize any excess oxalates, to grab them, bind them, and get them the fuck out of your system so they're not going to cause you harm. They're not increasing your inflammation, because we all know one thing across the board we can agree on, and that's that inflammation, overabundance of it, is a bad thing. And on that note, I'm going to go, because my day is over. The sun is going down. It's becoming dark outside, and it's time for me to go get my sweatpants on and get comfy. So I will see you guys in my next video. If you have suggestions or a topic that you want me to talk about, to give you guys information, let me know, and I will do my best to get it up. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the love. Mwah. Share, like, subscribe.